Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio. Hope you're doing well and safe. Please get out to vote. If you're waiting this long, you only got till 8 o'clock, so get out and vote. It's our right as an American. I don't care who you vote for. I respect everybody that votes. Thank you very much for my public announcement. We'll carry on with some sports. 22 days ago, we had our anniversary. 9 years, Pittsburgh Sportsline, October 11th, 2011. We missed a couple weeks, 2 weeks in a row after that. So I finally got around to getting a nice young lady at Giant Eagle at the Market District, scraped off all the other stuff on the cookie, and she put in there, happy 9th anniversary, Pittsburgh Sportsline. For all those people that know Smokin' Jim and the CTE damage that he had, he thought October 11th was my birthday. It's the birthday of Pittsburgh Sportsline. He just found that out 2 or 3 years ago when he realized on Facebook it says June 30th. He said, "You're the only guy on Facebook with 2 birthdays." I said, "Where'd you see that?" Now, I know he's an honest man, so he wouldn't make it up. Just sharing that. But hey, thank you for watching us on Comcast 7 Bethel Park. Thank you for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Cranberry, Wexford, and Nemacolin, all the way from there and all points in between. We appreciate that. Thanks for our Facebook likes, 6876. We appreciate all those likes. And we have a lot of great sports to talk to you about. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Chip Hayner, and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And we're just honored to be talking some sports. I got some promos here. We'll see how Anthony in the control room is doing, our great volunteer. Let me see if I can hit the spot. Anthony put a little spot of tape there. I'm going to hit it right now. Bam. Wow. Anthony's on fire.
He's money, man.
Olive Oil's Pizzeria. 412-831-1900, Hillcrest Shopping Center. You can't miss it. Great owner, Frank. Have a lot of great Italian food. Go there. They sponsor our show with a pizza. But just like the cookie, we'll eat it after the show outside the studio. I'll cut up slices for each of these guys. Not in the quarters like Anthony thought, but into about eighths, except for Smokin' Jim. I'll give him an extra slice since it's not my birthday. But check out Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Next up, we'll see how this goes. Look at that. Perfect. Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. 2600 South Park Road. Great facility, 1905. Brand new roof. New cupola with the bell. New windows. Just doing great things inside there. We have our meetings with the Community Foundation in there. We may do it regularly, so check it out. The coffee place, Reginald's Coffee, they're closing down for today and another day or so, and you'll be able to go inside. I'll have to take Smokin' Jim or Chip there. There's Wi-Fi, so Smokin' Jim can be in touch with all his sweeties, and Chip can check out the latest sports stuff. But they have great green tea there. I can't wait to go back in for a little pot of my green tea. So check that out, Reginald's Coffee. Next up, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. Look at that. It's perfect. Thanks, Anthony. The Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation was founded by Joey's parents, Dave and Cindy. I saw Dave at the Market District Giant Eagle when I was getting this cookie the other day. He said he needs to talk to me, so we'll see what's coming up with the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. He died when he was 9 years old, just before his 10th birthday 6 years ago. They've raised over $100,000 to try to find a cure. So donate as little as $1 or whatever you can afford to try to help them out, and we'll see what events are coming up for them. Next up, one more time. Look at that. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you, $100 to $5,000 for your grant request. Get a hold of us. Go to bpcf.org, get an application. We have meetings every couple months. You can check out the next meeting, should be in November here. And if you have money that you need for your group doing great things in Bethel Park, we can get it for you. We've given out over $1 million in 25 years. So we have the money. Next up, Dave Cable likes to have a little fun at my expense. I Want You for BPTV. Just like Anthony here, look at him doing cameras, doing the audio, the video. He's in the control room, keeping us straight, waiting for a slice of cookie. I know that, but we'll get it later. 412-831-3304. We could use a cameraman or somebody else to help out in audio. Give us Dave Cable a call at 412-831-3304. We're serious about that. And we're going to go on with What's on Your Mind. It's sponsored by Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station, 6103, Route 88, Red, White, and Blue Station, and 724-348-4715. They work on anything and everything that runs on gas. So check it out. Give them a call if you need help with a weed whacker, a car, a lawnmower, a boat, a truck, you name it, anything that runs on gas, hedge trimmers. They also work on electrical appliances outside, like weed whackers, hedge trimmers, and everything else. So they can work on both for you, and give them a call. They're open. They said business has been pretty steady because people are, stuck in their cars, so they're getting work done. So check them out. And we got to ask Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
here's the fastball.
You got to see Levine. And I tell you what, I was at Skeets the other day ago, and a guy named an older gentleman by the name of Al said to tell you hi.
Oh, yeah, Al's my favorite.
And Skeets' mom.
Chip, you'd like Al. He's a great reader. We talk about books all the time. And he actually worked with U.S. Air. He did something for them for years. And I became good friends with him, and he brings fresh donuts from Bethel Bakery every Monday. Yeah. So how was I on that, Smoking?
You was right on, and Skeets' mom said to tell you hello.
Oh, Mimi, thank you.
She showed me a picture of her and President Trump's son.
Nice.
And it was a beautiful picture. So I had a taste for some pig's feet, so I went out there and I tell you what, some good.
He didn't have any the last time I was there.
Pickled pig feet out there, brother. But hey, I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, and Chip, you guys will be proud of me. I did a mail-in vote this year. I faxed in my vote this year. I scanned in my vote this year. I went to the polls because I had to get my man Negron in there for the Congress. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, I tell you what, only thing his first name is Luke. I wish he had a brother name. But I tell you what.
Smoking Jim, let me interrupt. There's a disclaimer. Everything that he said for the last 2 minutes talking about voting is not the truth. You can't do anything like that unless you have a government name. So he is busted because he said he doesn't use his government name for anything. So he did not vote, but he's an entertainer. Thank you, Smoking Jim.
They said, when's the last time you voted? I said, Bush.
That'll be the first time.
They said, Bush. I said, no, not the son, the dad. No, I always vote. But hey.
Here's what I know. I investigated this. I talked to 17 workers for the election in Monroeville if they ever heard of anybody named Smoking Jim Frazier. And they said, yes, he played football for Gateway. We see him on PCTV.
What year?
And he's been around. I go, when's the last time he voted? They go, that'll be the first time.
But you and Chip would be proud. Skeets had his Little League Baseball player friend out there by the name of Frank. I don't know if you ever met Frank, but he was
Is he an older guy?
He's Skeets' age.
55.
Whatever that is.
Skeets is 55.
Is he?
Yeah.
But hey.
Age don't mean anything to you. Sorry to distract you. Go ahead.
How about my my Dodgers, huh? All right. But I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, you know what? Hey, they always call the Cubs the lovable losers.
Yeah.
But I love my losers, the Pittsburgh Pirates, man. I miss baseball.
How did that come up from the Dodgers?
I just miss baseball.
Where is your mind at? I can't follow you. Can you take a time
I
out?
think I'm going to watch more games coming up this year.
What was your point about the Dodgers?
Congratulations, my Dodgers won.
Yeah, but how did you get to the Pirates? Because it seemed like you were just...
baseball. It's related.
It just seemed like you were busting somebody's chops.
No, I'm just saying, people can say what they want. I love my losers. I love my lovable losers, the Pirates. But hey, how about the game ball? I'm handing out game balls. Villanueva haven't, according to my film study, Villanueva haven't given up a sack all year. So congratulations to him. And the game ball got to go to Robert Stonewall Spillane. Hey, Al Levine, the talking machine. Hey, Devin Bush lost his job. This Spillane, listen, if he was black, he ran down a wide receiver from behind Al Levine, the talking machine. It would be on Sports Center everywhere. If his last name was Negro or Negron, it'd be all over the place. Listen, there's only been 2 good black middle linebackers in the history of the National Football League. All the great middle linebackers have been white. But they keep shoving these Devin Bushes and Jarvis Too Slow Jones down our throat. But hey, he gets a game ball, and I tell you what, I got a little bit of bone to pick with Chip. Chip got me pretty good last week with my good friend Kevin Colbert. But hey, let's give the Roonies a little credit.
For what?
A guy that should be in the Hall of Fame is first general manager Haley. Under Haley, Todd Haley's dad. By the way, Todd Haley's coaching high school football. But Todd Haley's
Why
dad
not golf?
drafted 13 Hall of Famers. He's not in the Hall of Fame. How about our guy Tom Donahoe, who brought in Woodson, Hines Ward, Alan Faneca, Bettis, Kevin Green, DeMonte Dawson, 6 Hall of Famers. Your guy Kevin Colbert that you love so much, Chip, Troy Polamalu, and Big Ben. 2 Hall of Famers in 21 years. That's what's on my mind. I love Kevin Colbert, but give the Roonies a credit all the way back from Haley, and we can even throw in Bill Nunn.
Before you give Dick Haley all that credit, let's think about how much of that credit goes to Bill Nunn.
Huh?
How much of that credit goes to Bill Nunn?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Took the steam out of his sails again.
That's true.
Thank you, Smoking Chimp.
But that's what's on my mind.
That sounded more like an episode of Fiction and Fact. I can't wait for that. Chip Hayner, I can't even get it out. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind? And the problem with Jim's facts is,
His mind.
20 years down the road, we'll see how many of the people that Kevin Colbert brought in that end up in the Hall of Fame, because his story is still being written. Okay, but I digress.
Isn't DeCastro a pretty good ball player?
I digress. Yeah, and don't worry, Alan Faneca is going in too.
Yeah.
Well, that's from Donahoe.
Oh, he's in one of the college players again. So anyhow, what's on my mind this week? We got a big game coming up this weekend, Steelers and the Cowboys, and on paper it sounds really great. I think one of the most heartbreaking things for Pine Richland fans in the Pittsburgh area is finding out that Ben DiNucci will not be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
We knew that was coming.
On Sunday night. They are bringing in, what was the guy's name they picked up off the practice squad? They're bringing in somebody off the practice squad. Are you kidding me?
No.
The biggest moment in this kid's young career, and believe me, it's not going to be a long career. Give the kid a little break. I mean, it doesn't matter one way or the other. You can start, Roger Staubach. I don't think the Cowboys have a chance to beat the Steelers, but we'll get into that later.
Yes.
But, just talking about the way the football season's going. And once again, I think, it needs to be brought to the attention the protocols for the virus. Are they being followed by the NFL? Because here we find out the day after a game that the Steelers played against the Ravens that Humphreys, the starting cornerback for the Ravens, tested positive. So, like, how is he left practice last Wednesday because he wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
Then he came back and he practiced Thursday and Friday and he played in the game. And Monday he tests positive. So at what point was he able to transmit the virus? And how is that going to affect
the whole time
the Steelers moving forward? Now, all of the Steelers today got the results of their tests from yesterday back, and they all tested negative, which is a good thing. But it takes several days for the virus to manifest itself.
Even a couple weeks.
You know, so what's going to happen to the Steelers, because they've already got robbed out of their bye week, and they have to play 13 weeks in a row, okay, and they had to play a well-rested Ravens team. Well, we know how that ended up.
Yeah.
The Ravens had their bye week. So now, is this going to affect the Steelers' ability to be able to play future games or this week? What happens if several players who had contact with them.
18th week. Look for an 18th and 19th week.
Well, you know, I think, you know.
That's what'll happen.
It's interesting to see. And isn't it interesting how nobody's talking about were the protocols followed? How did this happen? Or how can this be allowed
Chip,
to happen?
to interrupt you, we've had these conversations before. When you're not in a bubble and you have a multi-billion-dollar corporation telling you they got it all under control without a plan,
but
this is what happens.
And when people whine, I'm usually not a person that listens, and especially when Ben Roethlisberger whines. But Ben does have a point.
Yeah.
You know, through no actions of their own, the Steelers are being put in a position where they have to play X number of weeks without any break. Well, all the other teams are getting their bye weeks. So, you know, what's going to happen? How come there is no repercussions against the teams that are affecting the teams that are following all the protocols and doing everything they can? I just don't think that the system's fair. And
well, look, they fined Tennessee $300,000.
Yeah,
that's like a penny.
That's like me fining you $3.
Yes.
You know, Jim, that's
maybe
like
fining
Jim, that's like fining him 13 cents.
Yes. No, but Chip, that was my thinking exactly. You know, and it goes back to, you know, just what's going on in society. You can't ignore it. I just had a friend of mine call me up, and I don't know if you know him, but this Joel Percheski sponsored our show once in a while. He had One World Blue. He called me up and said, "Hey, Al, I got some bad news for you." He goes, "My sister has COVID, and I have it too. So there's a guy you know now." And I go, "How did you find out?" He goes, He goes, you don't know him? Okay.
I really don't.
I understand.
I know him,
you shook his hand,
yeah,
and you even met his wife
yeah,
and said Bayla's very nice.
Yeah,
so either you're an honest man or you're a liar. So I take it as the liar. But he told me he has COVID. And he was sick with a fever and couldn't breathe and, you know, felt achy all over his body. When he walked, he felt sore everywhere. So he went through it. Then I think of a certain guy I see couldn't walk into the studio or out of the studio and doesn't know what he has. So I believe you're immune like the other guy that got it and recovered. But no, there's a guy that we know, and he's recovering now, but he's had it for like a week.
Another person that's currently got the virus, we interviewed him at SIPS all those years ago, Mr. Puniverse, Bobby Atlas.
Yeah, you were telling me. That's why I wanted to bring that up.
He started out, he was sick for 14 or 15 days and then had to be hospitalized. And he's still in a bad way now. He's been released from the hospital, but they're considering him what they call a long hauler, which means that he is going to have medical problems moving forward for the rest of his life as a result of the virus.
No, it is terrible, and it's not a hoax. And people don't have to believe in it, but when we have over 9 million Americans sick with it that have been reported, and over 232,000 dead.
And to say that most of the people that get it, you know, recover from it, and that is a fact, okay, but 231,000 people are still dead.
Yeah. Go ahead, Smokey.
Well, I've got to disagree with you and Chip both, because I believe the National Football League and the players of the National Football League are doing an excellent job fall on the protocol. However, if the President of the United States can get it in Cleveland and 35 members of the staff can get it, you can get it anywhere. Just living your life, you can get it. So
Smoking
you can't
Jim,
blame the
I don't want to
NFL.
talk the politics because you could ask when he had his last negative test and they couldn't tell you. Now, if you're tested every day and you can't tell me when you were tested negative, he didn't get it there. It was at his.
I ain't going to Cleveland. You going to Cleveland?
It wasn't
till
there.
Clears it up, till they clear it up.
Do you know what the Capitol, the house that they live in, the White House?
Yeah.
They had an event there. That's the end of the politics. Vote for whoever you want and believe the truth, not these vicious lies. And when you're not in a bubble, you do get sick. And that'll happen. And other people happen. I won't mention others that we know.
Give the NFL credit. They're doing a good job.
Here's what I give them credit for having $1 billion to get testing. And I give them no credit for not telling the truth. And when you buy tests that aren't 100% accurate, that's a little sketchy. But thank you, Chip, for that.
They got the cure.
Smoking Jim, thanks for the nonsense. During these times, this is deadly, so I can't really kid around it because, you know, I got a sense of humor. Not about that. You can have your opinion. I respect it, even though I'll share this with you. I disagree with it 100%. And there's no agreeing to disagree on that one. And what's on my mind is 7-0 Steelers, and people are looking for trouble. I'm so happy. I didn't think they'd be 7-0. I thought they'd be about 5-2. But things fell their way. And now we'll talk about Steelers on the back end. We were talking about how good Dallas was, and you're talking Danucci's not even going to be playing for them. And I never saw a team by a billionaire who brags about how great he is and everything else give up, not even try.
Well, actually, Andy Dalton, who was out on the concussion protocols, tested positive.
I didn't want to bring that up, that the red-headed rifle.
Pop gun.
Yeah.
Squirt gun.
He has COVID now. So what happened to him? Here's what happened. They put him in a hospital with a concussion, and he contracted COVID. But he's under the protocols of the NFL. How did that slip through the cracks? You think about your answer. You'll make up something else. But we're going to come back with some fiction and fact. Oh, I can't wait. From Smoking Jim's Almanac. Stay tuned.
Hello to everybody at Bethel Park. My name's Anthony Veltri, and I'm a current volunteer here at BPTV. Now, what does BPTV stand for? Well, it stands for Bethel Park Television. And the fun fact about Bethel Park Television is it's its own public access television station. So that means that you can come here, give us your show, we'll make it, and we'll publish it to live television. And another fact that you can also be an intern or a volunteer here at BPTV. And it's all thanks to our facility director, Dave Cable, for allowing me to become a former intern and now a current volunteer. Thank you all so much, and I hope to see you soon at BPTV.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Thanks, Chip Hayner, my main man. Anthony on the ones and twos, never a hair out of place. You see that commercial Anthony's on, man? He's
Yeah, he was great.
Star, man. I gotta listen to that sometime, man. I gotta tune in.
Maybe you could read a book someday, too.
I'm not gonna do that. Although my man Claudio Rosano came out with a book.
I know. I'm going to have to get it.
From the heart up, not the neck up. So I'm gonna have to read that book and have somebody read it to me.
You get audio books.
Yeah, I'll have to get one of those. But hey,
Look forward.
A little shout out. I know Chipper will love that. Coach Tomlin became the winningest black coach in the history in the National Football.
I'm confused. Is this Black History Month?
No.
Because you don't normally talk about black people.
I know, but they said it on TV.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you sure he's an African American?
Yeah. If his name was Sparrow D. Agnew, you would know. All you got to do is look at him.
Sparrow.
All you got to do is look at Tomlin to know he's African American.
Okay, I just wondered.
But
I was just curious.
I don't think that record will ever be broken. Can you guys name me another black head coach currently that's any good? No. So Tomlin may have that record for years. Who was that coach for Grambling? Eddie
Robinson.
Robinson.
Eddie Robinson, all them years.
He got the
on
record
that. He got the
in
record.
college.
But in the NFL, there ain't no good black coaches. I don't know of any.
No.
Not currently.
No.
But let's talk about a guy that Tomlin broke his record, and I met many, many times. Tony Dungy.
I can't wait to hear these stories.
I had a Sports Illustrated years ago. I wish I would have kept it. And there was this.
If a sweetie signed it, you would have kept it.
It was old. It was old back issues. My dad used to get Sports Illustrated for years.
I
Same
still
with
do.
my dad.
Remember, do they still have that? In the back of the Sports
T.J.
Illustrated.
Watt's on the cover.
I got to get that one. But in the back of the Sports Illustrated, it used to have high school kids or junior high kids.
Faces in the crowd.
Faces in the crowd. And I'm flicking through one, and I got all these old Sports Illustrateds I didn't want to throw out, and I don't know how old they was. I looked through 14-year-old Tony Dungy, man, in there, and they was projecting that he was going to be great. Here the guy went to the University of Minnesota when they never really played black quarterbacks at that time. He was starting quarterback for Minnesota. And when I used to watch Tony Dungy, he reminded me of the gingerbread man, Charlie Batch, who ended up getting 6 years in college to play. Back then, I think he's the first year. You got to prove you're a brittle brother to get a medical for 6 years. But when I used to watch Charlie Batch in college, just like Tony Dungy, it looked like Batch didn't have that many yards at the end of the game. He'd have 350 yards. Very efficient quarterback. Tony Dungy gets drafted by the genius, Chuck Noll, the emperor. Tony Dungy never played defensive back before in his life. The day after the draft in April, he moves to Pittsburgh, studies like nobody ever studied, watched films, became a very cerebral player, 2-time Super Bowl champion. And Chuck Noll, when Tony Dungy retired, Chuck Noll hired him because he was so smart. Chuck Noll was one of the first coaches to run a 3-4 defense. Now the Rooneys fired him because he was a defensive coordinator. They didn't think the 3-4 would ever work. But Tony Dungy went on and had a great career, Tampa 2 defense. Of course, Coach Tomlin gets a lot of credit for learning a lot under Tony Dungy. Well, he only coached under Dungy 1 year. It's another mystique from Coach Tomlin. But
Hold on. When you know somebody for 1 second, you're best friends.
yeah.
Tomlin stole a page
Yeah.
out of your book.
Yeah, but Coach Tomlin gets a lot of credit for stuff he's never done. But Tony Dungy was a guy that came up with his own defense, the Tampa 2. He was the first black coach to win a Super Bowl. And for Coach Tomlin to go past Tony Dungy was a heck of an accomplishment. And I know Coach Tomlin to this day is thanking Big Ben for all those wins. So, hey, that's the fiction and facts from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Can I ask
Tony
you-
Dungy, self-made guy.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Very smart.
On the air?
Yeah.
That was painful, wasn't it?
I give credit where credit is due.
Thank you. Thank you.
That had to hurt.
Thank you, Smoking Jim.
And Big Ben's still making up plays in the dirt, saving Tomlin's butt.
Good evening, everybody. And, we're going to touch on my trivia segment this week. And you know my trivia segments, more times than not, it's going to have something to do with baseball. And yes, baseball season ended last week. And today is a very important day. It's election day. And I hope everybody goes out and votes for
Hurry
the
up.
candidate they feel is the best. But as close as I'll ever get to making a political statement on this show, I'm going to talk about the most home runs that were hit by a major league player during each president's presidency. And I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning when President Harrison was president and a guy named H. Stavey had 51 home runs during his presidency.
Wow.
Next up, Grover Cleveland was president, and an S. Thompson hit 85 home runs while he was president. Then we have President McKinley, and a B. Freeman hit 46 home runs during his presidency. followed by Teddy Roosevelt. And a player named H. Davis hit 59 home runs. Then we go to Taft. Freddie Schulte hit 47 home runs. Then Woodrow Wilson. G. Gravath had 106
I
home
never
runs.
heard of him.
Neither did I. Then Warren Harding. Babe Ruth hit 119 home runs during his presidency.
And that was more than any other team.
Calvin Coolidge. Babe Ruth hit 289 home runs in his.
That was more than the whole league.
Herbert Hoover. Babe Ruth hit 182 home runs.
That
in
was
his
more than
presidency.
everybody.
Then you've got Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fox hit
Ooh, what a
353
hitter.
home runs.
What a hitter he
Okay.
was.
Then there was Harry Truman. Give him hell, Harry.
Yeah.
Ralph Kiner of the Pittsburgh Pirates hit 294 home runs
Wow.
during his presidency. Followed by President Eisenhower. Eddie Matthews hit 313 home runs.
Wow.
John F. Kennedy. Harmon Killebrew of the Minnesota Twins hit 139 home runs.
He could hit.
Lyndon Johnson, the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, 181 home runs.
Wow.
Richard Nixon, Hank Aaron hit 218 home runs in his time in office. Gerald Ford, Mike Schmidt of the Philadelphia Phillies hit 87 home runs. Jimmy Carter, Mike Schmidt hit 152 home runs. Ronald Reagan, Mike Schmidt hit 259 home runs.
Wow. He sounds like Babe
He was
Ruth.
a home run hitting guy. George H.W. Bush, Fred McGriff, the crime dog,
Yeah.
137 home runs. Bill Clinton, Ken Griffey Jr., 351 home runs.
Boy, could he hit.
George W. Bush, A-Rod, 364 home runs. President Obama, Albert Pujols hit 272 home runs. And the current president, Mike Trout, has hit 134 home runs.
Who's the current president?
Yeah.
Thank you, Chip Hayner. Appreciate that. No question.
I got one, just quick one for Chip.
We were changed. Go ahead.
Were you surprised that Pirates got rid of Archer?
No, I'm not. And here's what the
called
thing
it.
is. Here's what the thing is. They had an $11 million option for him. I believe that this has a very strong possibility of happening. I believe what's going to happen is the Pirates are quite possibly could re-sign him for less money.
Yeah.
Because here's a guy who needs to rebuild his career. He's not going to get that kind of money from anybody else. He's coming off of surgery, and he hasn't thrown a pitch in the major leagues in over a year, maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
So if anything, I think it would make sense to get a proven major league starting pitcher. If you could get him at the right price.
$1 million.
Pitching is at a premium, and the Pirates have a lot of, been doing some reading, something you should try. Been doing a lot of reading lately about the Pirates and some of the people they have in their farm system. And they've got some good young arms. And as a matter of fact, they got a couple of good ones that they got in the trade for Starling Marte that are showing signs of promise. They're probably a year or two away from being ready. And Chris Archer could be a bridge to that, because if you give Archer a chance to maybe prove himself, maybe he might be able to earn a bigger contract from somebody else. But as Chris Archer's career stands right now, he's got a lot to prove, and who's going to be willing to pay him?
Who got the first pick overall in the draft?
Pittsburgh Pirates.
Okay, one sure.
Smoking Jim, we don't understand how you know these simple-minded things that we all know. Like, that's common knowledge.
I wasn't sure.
Well,
No, you asked, and did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Any more questions, Smoking Jim?
No.
You're just an innocent babe. Thank you, Chip Hayner. On location, we got nothing going on. Tang, Master Zhang, Taekwondo, over 600 likes watching it on YouTube. They've shared it a bunch of times, so the North Carolina guys are coming through. He wants to do another show. we're going to have a meeting on when we do another show because we showed everything in there. Smoking Jim, you got to watch it.
I can't wait.
He broke 10 boards. It's a foot thick. He's 5'6", 150, 10 boards, 1 kick.
Wow.
Jumped through a ring of fire to open the show.
That's amazing.
The ring was on fire.
Wow.
He jumped through it. Plus, he had other people performing great things. Smoking Jim and Chip, I got to share this with you. I had a phone call. Jessica Lee does a show called By Request, and a good friend of yours, Bill Kai, called in to her to do What a Wonderful World. So since I do a show with Jess, she goes, do you know Bill? I go, yeah, I did a celebrity judge on Halloween for him. She goes, oh, I thought you might have known him. And give him a call. So I give him a call. We only talked for over an hour and a half.
Wow.
Your name come up at least a dozen times,
Okay.
good and bad.
Okay.
Because something about following through on stuff, can't get a hold of them. I said, I can work through that. He goes to me, you know, would you want to partner up with me on something and I could put you on this Hall of Fame, and if you could get me sources to other people and things. And he goes, I'd love to have you and Smoking Jim do a show during our Hall of Fame and we'd interview some of these great people. He goes, would you be interested in it? I couldn't get it out fast enough. I said yes. He goes, well, tell Smoking Jim, so I'm announcing this, that we may do an on location for when they do their Whippeal Hall of Fame. And we're going to have some talks on it and see what we can do about possibly doing a show and filming it during the Hall of Fame sometime.
Awesome. Awesome.
So I wanted to give you some hope there.
Wait, this is a Hall of Fame that he doesn't get to pick?
Yes. I'll just,
So it's legitimate.
let me share this. Chip, you'll appreciate this. All Bill wants is recommendations, and then he takes care of the rest. And he's looking at some boxers, he's looking at martial arts,
And you know what?
he's looking at some women performers.
See, all he wants is recommendations. All he wants is donations.
Yes. So I'm going to be the guy, Chip and our audience, I'm going to be the guy that brings it together so we get them both on the same page and we'll blend it all together. But stay tuned, Smoking Jim. I wanted to share that with you. On Sunday before the Steeler game, I had an hour and a half talk with him. And he said, you can call me anytime. We had a great time talking.
They've been having a hard time getting a hold of me.
Yeah, that came up at least.
What a shock.
That came up at least 3 or 4 times that I can remember. And I said, believe me, I have 9 years, because it's not my birthday, but 9 years experience of dealing with him. So we got that cleared out. If you have any ideas or events you want to do with sports, you know, that we'll look on location, let me know. Because if some of the COVID goes down, even though we're setting new records, because unbeknownst to Smoking Jim, we're averaging 85,000 cases each day, and we cracked 9 million. So it is raging out of control again, as Dr. Fauci said. So we got to be safe. We're wearing our masks, the Pittsburgh Sportsline masks. Thank you guys for wearing them. You look great. And all of you stay healthy out there, and we'll be back for some Steeler talk. Can't wait. We came back, folks. All right, let's get serious. Steelers 7-0. I'm watching the football game, and who intercepts the pass? Smoking Jim's second greatest linebacker in Steeler history, Spillane. Gets it for a pick 6. Unbelievable. He was so slow that they ran 2 commercials and he scored the touchdown.
They came back to live TV and he was just crossing the goal line.
He crossed it because they've said he's at 4.8 or so. And I don't know what game Smoking Jim was watching. And I give everybody that's in the NFL as a player, whether they're the worst or the best, all the credit in the world for making the NFL. But he doesn't have the speed that Smoking Jim talks about to get him to the next level. He's an adequate player that's made a few good plays, and he's in good shape. He made a couple great hits. And when he hit Derrick Henry, I didn't want to bust his chops, but he came off the field. Derrick Henry went out and ran another play. So I don't know what that means. You got to explain it to me.
Well, I'll tell you this. The Steelers have gone through the hardest part of their schedule this year.
Yeah.
They played a very good Cleveland Browns team. Then they played 2 playoff teams from last year.
Yes.
Okay, and 2 what were considered of the top 3 or 4 teams
Oh, yeah.
in the AFC with the Tennessee Titans
and the MVP
and the Baltimore
of,
Ravens.
of
And
last
I
year.
will tell you this, once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers made adjustments at halftime, and that's how they ended up winning the game, because Baltimore dominated the first half. They were running the ball up and down the field, but unfortunately, Baltimore is not good enough to end up a -3 on their turnover ratio and win a game like the Steelers did last week. So subsequently, by Baltimore turning the ball over as many times as it did, the Steelers were put in a position where they took control of the game in the second half, and they most certainly did. The offense scored enough points, 3 trips into the red zone, 3 touchdowns. Difference between Duck Hodges' team last year, that would have been 3 trips into the red zone, 2 made field goals, 1 missed field goal.
Or
You
no,
know?
maybe
and,
only.
and it's a little different. When you're putting up touchdown instead of kicking field goals, that's the reason why they won that game.
Right.
The Steelers came up big, and once again, Lamar Jackson, league MVP, Heisman Trophy winner, was unable to deliver in a big game.
Yeah.
And this is getting to be a common thread with him. And, you know, and until he finally does win a big game. Now, that doesn't mean that Thanksgiving night the Steelers are going to waltz in there and beat the... Now, here's the thing I want to make a comment to make about the Steelers this week. Yeah, we're playing the Dallas Cowboys, and the Dallas Cowboys are nothing short of a train wreck right now.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
And everybody knows that. But if the Steelers do not prepare for this game the way they prepared for the last 3 games and show up and play with the same passion that they played these last 3 games, they will get beat this week. This is the kind of trap game that Tomlin has historically lost against a team and a backup quarterback nonetheless. You know? Because, you know, it's just, it's usually the way things go, but this Steeler team does not seem to be as full of itself as Steeler teams in the past.
Right, they're not distracted. They seem to have the focus on each thing and each play. And what I wanted to share is you rarely see TV promote when Butler and TJ Watt are yelling at each other right there. And they kept on them. And you're like, you know, all teams have arguments or whatever else, or it could be a misunderstanding. Yet they focused on that just in the middle of this game, you know, for like 20, 30 seconds.
Because they're
You're
looking.
right. Tomlin's teams always have that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It would be that would that be the same coach that won more games than any other African American head coach in NFL
But he
history.
loses the locker room a lot.
Well, you know what? Ever since he got rid of the cancers in his locker room, he has not.
Look like they're yelling at coaches on the sideline.
Well, do you see
The greatest
No,
linebacker
wait a minute.
in Steeler
No,
history.
I want to address this point. Do you see any game being played in the NFL where players and coaches get into heated discussions on the sideline? Have you seen one?
The Steelers under Tomlin.
Hold it. Didn't you see Tom Brady yelling at his offensive coordinator and Belichick over the years?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Then what you're saying goes beyond Tomlin.
but it's Tomlin. But
No, it's beyond Tomlin.
But I wanted to say this, and Chip will agree. First of all, Big Ben and Robert Stonewall Spillane ain't going to let Dallas beat the Steelers. But this reminds me, when I'm watching the game, it reminded me of 2004 when Ben won 15 games in a row. And this is what there's a belief on this team that they can go undefeated. I know you don't want to talk undefeated, but this is the 72 Miami Dolphins. They can go undefeated and go all the way to the championship game and lose to Kansas City.
Weren't you the
Oh,
guy?
you mean like the Patriots did?
The Patriots went to the Super Bowl. Steelers ain't getting past Kansas City, but
Well, you know what? That remains to be seen, because I saw what the Las Vegas Raiders did to the Kansas City Chiefs at home. Now, I know that is a rivalry game, but they handled them pretty well that night.
He didn't see it.
You know, we're not talking about a 7 or 8-0 Kansas City
And
team.
the 70 Steelers are the greatest team of all time, and they never went undefeated. I mean, you're going to have slip-ups, but they're Kansas City, man. They're unbeatable.
Kansas City, I will tell you, it will be a challenge, and I do believe that the Steelers' defense is still evolving.
Yeah.
Okay, and
How about Minka at the end of the game?
well, and
Interference? Pass
that was not interference. You obviously you don't know the rules.
Well, I know he got a roughing the quarterback penalty earlier in the
Well,
game.
yeah,
I remember
that has nothing to do with
Yeah.
that last play at the end of the game. That was not interference, because when
He
both
won't
players
ball
are
enough.
when both players are going for the ball, this is how the rule reads. Both players are going for the ball, and contact happens while they're both trying to make a play on the ball. It is not pass interference.
Gene Sarator explained it. Our guy from Washington County.
Me and John Harbaugh seen interference, but
Well, because
Mika-
you're both
but you know what,
crybabies.
But Mika played.
You're both crybabies.
Mika played another bad game. Here's the problem: to win a championship, and here's why the Steelers will never beat Kansas City with Le'Veon Bell. But when to win a
Whoa.
championship, you got to be strong up the middle. First of all, we lost Tyson Elalu, who ain't exactly curly call. But then they put a bum in Bugs that was getting beat up and down the field. Then they keep telling us we just got a linebacker, Williamson. They keep telling me Vince Williams and Robert Spillane can't cover the pass, even though Spillane's all over the field. Then you got
Did you see him
then
cover
the weak
Snead?
link- the
How did he
weak
do
link
covering
on
Snead?
the team is Terrell Edmonds as strong safety, and it looked like Mika Fitzpatrick never played a down the football in his life. When I watched J.K. Dobbins, who the Steelers said that they were going to draft, I would trade Mika for J.K. Dobbins and 115 yards on 13 carries or something like that. Unbelievable. We need him back.
Unbelievable. And who won the game?
Well, that's true.
Mr. Negative.
That's true. I'll give it to you.
But
But, I'm just.
But here's the thing, and I knew you would take Harbaugh. There is nothing that is more predictable after a football game, whether it's college or professional, is a Harbaugh whining about the way they lost the game. Okay, because those two are the two biggest crybabies I've ever heard in my life. Suck it up. And accept the fact that you got beat on Sunday, and you know what? You got nobody to blame but yourself. It wasn't the referees. It wasn't interference. You flat out lost,
Did
period.
Baltimore run for like 270 yards?
Yeah, but they lost, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so they could run for 290 or
And
they
then
could run three.
Then they lost two of their starting offensive linemen.
So you're making excuses
No, I'm
for
just
them.
saying. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
No, I ain't saying that's the reason why they lost. I'm just saying in the future, look how their team's going to be weakened. They lost two offensive linemen. One lineman they just signed for $115 million.
He's out.
Boy, I wish they would have waited another week to pay him.
Yeah. No wonder the Steelers don't negotiate once the season starts.
Now you understand the
He's laying in
Roonies.
that hospital bed getting that ankle break.
Yeah.
He's sitting there counting that money, man.
man.
He's counting that money.
He's like, at least I got this year. I don't know what I got guaranteed, but I made the money
But you
this
know
year.
what, though? The Steelers, though, look to me as if they're only going to get better as the year goes on. Okay,
On
because
offense.
they haven't really played a complete game yet, and their defense. You know, that game was won by the offense and the defense. You can't say one over the other because the defense kept the Ravens from scoring. They got the turnovers they needed.
Well, on
and
your
the
same-
Steelers'
yeah.
offense put the points on the board in the second half.
On
when
your
they had
same
to.
point, luckily Big Ben's a winner
Yeah.
because he's only playing a half a game. For whatever reason, he's only getting a half a game in where he's efficient. Now, I don't know what it is, getting used to some of the receivers or some of them dropping the ball
Well, you know,
and
think about
different things
look
like
at how
that.
young his playmakers. Look at how young they are.
Sure.
They're all first, second, at best, third-year players.
Yeah.
And they didn't play a whole season with him last year.
They didn't
You know,
have somebody
Chase
breaking
Claypool
their fingers.
never played with Ben before.
No.
You know,
Well, the defense is only going to get worse, but the offense will keep getting better. The offense can carry them, like Chip said. They're young. And I tell you what I would like to see this week against Dallas. I'd like to see more McFarland. I think Benny Snell is a disgruntled guy. Benny Slow is a
He's not
Snell.
running so well.
Listen, when he scored a touchdown 2 weeks ago, he didn't play last week.
Yeah.
Nobody congratulated him. Andy Dalton had more people come over to him when he got
Well, Andy
knocked out.
Dalton. Did
Then
you see?
Benny
Did you
Snell
see
did.
what happened when there was a late hit on Russell Wilson on Sunday?
No, I didn't see
Oh, the whole entire, almost the bench cleared.
They did.
And
They come out of the stands.
Yeah, no, the whole entire offensive unit went at the guy.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was sitting there saying to Steph, I said, "Did you see what happened when Dalton
I
got
saw
hit
it.
last week?"
Nobody.
I said, "Nobody even looked at him." You know, and I said, "That is a leader of a team right there."
Sure.
And then Benny Snell scores 2 weeks ago. Not one Steeler went over to him. And I'm telling you, he's a cancer on the team already. Mm-hmm. He's a cancer on the team already.
You know what else I saw as a cancer on the team?
Who's that?
Yeah, that loudmouth Hollywood Brown, huh?
Yeah, he
Just
tweeted.
like his
Yeah, he
uncle.
tweeted.
Or is that his cousin?
That's a heck of a catch he made, though.
Oh,
Got
yeah,
the knee
one.
in.
Yeah, one. And then he gets right on social media
Yeah.
and starts ripping the coaches
Yeah.
because he wasn't a big enough part of the offense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it
know
happens.
what? I guarantee you, that was me. He'd have been
On
on the unemployment line.
On that same note, you didn't hear anything about Claypool not doing well or getting thrown at many times last week, and this week he had a good week.
Well, he got all white friends. I told you the formula, a great black talent with all white friends, man. That's all you got? I gave you the formula.
No,
You know it.
there, before we end the show, we got Anthony likes giving us some information. NFL playoff bracket after week 8. Number 1 seed, Steelers. Number 2, KC. Number 3, Buffalo. Number 4, Tennessee. Number 5, Ravens. Number 6, the Colts. Number 7, the Browns that Smokin' Jim loves. And in the NFC, you got the who is
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay? No, they're second.
No, Seattle.
Seattle's number 1. Yeah, sorry. Seattle, Tampa Bay, Green Bay. Then we got, who's this one here?
That looked like an
Eagles.
Eagles. Yeah, because I'm looking at their record.
Yeah,
How
that's
can
who
they be
wins.
4th?
Yeah.
And then the 5th team is the Saints at 5-2.
Well, somebody from
I
Carrick
question
put that
this. And then the Cardinals are 5-2. And then LA's 5-3. So that's what we have for the playoffs looking at
The
right
reason
now.
why they're number 4, because the division leader in
Okay,
each
yeah.
division is getting a higher seed.
That's what threw me off because I'm
Yeah, you
thinking,
must be from Carrick. You think like the guys from Carrick. Hey,
thanks,
does
Anthony.
the Steelers still got to play Buffalo? I'm worried about
Yes, they
that
do,
game.
in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let me explain. The Steeler fans, you win 1 game, you're going to the Super Bowl. You win 7 games, you're going to the Super Bowl.
Well, let me tell you
You
this.
win 8, but if you lose 1, you're not. You can lose 1 and go.
There's
you
only
can lose 2 and go.
There's only 2 words that can justify the Buffalo Bills win this past weekend. Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cam Newton has done nothing more than prove that he is not a star quarterback in the
He
NFL.
dresses like a star.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. So what made Belichick so successful? Was it Brady, or did Belichick make Brady so successful? Well, here's Belichick, and he's got Cam Newton, and Cam Newton stinks.
Yeah.
There's no better way to put it.
Oh,
I mean,
very.
and he coughed up the ball on the game-tying drive, like he usually does. And he didn't even. What did he even attempt to try to cover it? Well, I guess it's not the Super Bowl. So
Great points, Chip. I think the same thing. And I think Brady gets the edge with the New England Patriots. Belichick helped set the table. Tom Brady brought the bacon home.
And
That's
he's
what I
sharing
believe.
His wife with Antonio Brown. They're living together. They're all living together at Brady's house.
That isn't going on, Smoking
How
Jim.
you know?
'Cause-
You don't know everything.
yeah, I wish you knew something.
I want to know. I want to know one thing from you that's true. Tell me one thing. That's what I'm waiting for. Give me one fact that's true that I can verify.
Bruce Arians is a genius.
It doesn't say it. Doesn't say he's a
And
great
guess
genius.
what? He'll be watching the Super Bowl on TV.
Oh,
Don't say that.
wow! You heard it here first, guys.
Hey, yeah.
Unbelievable. Wow, we got a minute left to go. Smoking Jim, what other nonsense do you have that'll make sense to all of our fans?
Le'Veon Bell versus Antonio Brown in the Super Bowl, reunited. Like Peaches and Herb, reunited.
Let me just give you a breakdown of
Aren't they on different
Le'Veon
teams?
Bell's
Yeah, they can play each other.
Le'Veon Bell's statistics for Sunday: 6 rushes for 8 yards, 3 catches for 31
That
yards.
ain't bad. That ain't
Oh
bad.
yeah, I'm telling you what, I'm signing him up to my all-time team. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and work on his bust for Canton.
Could he please sing another rap song? I would like him to sing another rap song. But no, I hope you enjoyed the show. We're trying to be entertaining to the COVID crowd out here, and we know you're stuck at home. Diane Underwood, that owns that Reverse Aging Energy Spa, if you watched the whole show, hello to you, and thanks for watching us. We appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed our show and the fun we had. And to all of you, thank you for watching us and supporting us during this time. We appreciate all the likes and the fans' comments back and forth, and please stay Joey strong.